To this computer.
Hi, it's Colleen Lowe, and welcome to the Born to Be Brave YouTube and channel and podcast. And I'd like to welcome Randall Reeves, our guest today. Randall, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so Randall and I are part of Pace Morby's Subto community. Well, you're part of Gator Lending, and I'm part of Subto, which Gator Lending is where you loan money short term, right? Like for earnest money and stuff.
Yes.
And then Subto is where you do creative finance for buying properties and businesses. And so we're both in different groups, and he had an idea to do a thing called Project Forward, right? And so he asked us to pick a battle buddy, somebody for our accountability, for all our homework, for all the projects. And he asked us to pick someone we didn't know, and he asked someone that doesn't live near us. So I'm in Southern California, and where are you at, Randall?
I'm in Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, Columbia, South Carolina. And so the nice thing is we now know each other somewhat because we do our homework together. And this is our new homework assignment, is we have to interview our battle buddies. And so, in fact, I think maybe we can just do one video and interview each other and then use that most likely, right? Yeah, John says we can do that. So that's good. John's my tech guy. So Randall, tell me a little bit, like a few seconds about yourself and your family and your background.
Well, I'm married.
Mhm.
I have my wife is from Japan,
Uh-huh.
and we have 3 children, 2 girls and a boy.
Uh-huh.
And we live in my son lives in Ohio, and my 2 daughters live in South Carolina. I was born in Atlanta, but my father was a soldier, and I grew up in Columbia because that's where Fort Jackson is. But as far as doing business work, I always wanted to get into real estate. I always wanted to, I had a dream of many, many houses, like when we used to play Monopoly game. And
Yeah.
I thought what it would be like to have houses and hotels and that kind of thing. And so I've always been in construction, working on houses that other people own. And I'd like to buy some myself, even if I have to work on them or have other people work on them, that I can eventually own and, gain income from that instead of just my labor, you know.
Yeah. So right now you work for somebody who fixes up houses, and you're the one that's in charge of fixing them up, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm a contractor that I repair and fix up houses so that they can sell them. It's a company that buys houses that are uh, all different kinds of situations, mostly foreclosures. And then they supply all the materials, and I'm the contractor, and I go in and I renovate the entire house.
Yeah, that's good. Can I ask you a question? Is your camera somewhere stable? Because I think it moves when you move.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Is it on a book or on
Yeah,
a tripod or something?
yeah.
Or
Shall I try and adjust it?
is what's it on? Is it
It was on a small table.
okay? Is the table moving? Is the
Yes, is that
table?
better?
Yeah, it's
I
just
just
better
bumped.
if the
I just
camera
bumped.
doesn't move, as long as your camera stays still. Because when we're recording, and we are recording this, you guys, this is just the way it's going because we can't stream live like we would like to. Anyway, we're both learning. And I've had my podcast for a while on my YouTube channel, and it's very distracting for the person watching it if the camera's moving.
Okay.
So does that make sense? So now your camera's not
Yes.
going to move, right?
Yeah, it's not going to move now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, always make sure your camera's stable. So you have 3 kids, you said?
Yes.
Okay, great. And so, what's interesting is that when John and I signed up, we didn't know who you were. We just signed up on a line, right, next to your name, right, and that you were in South Carolina. And it's because a good friend of mine just moved to South Carolina, and then one of our adopted kids moved to South Carolina in Charleston. And so we're like, oh, Charleston, that's great. But what's interesting is my passion is teaching people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and later in life how to gain financial freedom, and that it's not too late. They don't have to have the plan of working until you die, and that they can have the life that they want now by educating themselves and getting in community with people, getting mentors and getting in community with people who are like-minded, who are further along on the path than you. And that it's never too late to get started, to live the life you want to live. So I think it's kind of fun that we're both want to do something, and we're both over, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 56, and so I'm old, older. And so it's never too late to start. So isn't that fun?
That's fun. Yeah, I once heard years ago that we work 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then we retire on 40% of our income. And somehow I didn't think that was very logical.
Yeah, and people do it all the time,
And they
right?
do it all the time. And even prices increase, every year, no matter what it is. They never come down. But
Yeah.
you
And
have to have some kind of alternative source of income.
yeah, because your retirement won't go up as prices for gas and insurance and food and all that goes up, right?
That's true. Yes.
You can't, so then our old people are poor and dependent on family and friends for survival, right? The government.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in your ideal life, if you could wave a magic wand, what would your ideal life look like with properties and such?
Well, I'd like to own at least 10 properties, 10,
Mhm.
10 houses, even just one or two a month. I'm not looking to be a millionaire. I certainly couldn't keep up with pace. He has a pace, if you will, that's going to
Yeah.
be hard to match by anybody. He's got so many things going. But if I could just, live comfortably and be able to do, help out my children and
Mhm.
uh, develop some properties that I can receive income on, um, residual income above and beyond the rents and that kind of thing, then that would be great.
What made you decide now's the time to take action on that?
Well, I guess I just it's hard to say because I've been in a lot of programs. I've been to different seminars and spent bunches of money, and I could never. My biggest problem was finding the properties of a motivated seller, that somebody that wants to sell, because you can always find the money. Somebody will lend you the money, and you can always hire people to fix it up. But if you don't have the person that wants to sell to begin with, then
Mhm.
you really don't have a deal, you know. So I've always had trouble finding the people that are motivated, that want to sell their properties for whatever reason, and locating them has always been a problem. So I go to seminars. I've been to seminars in the past and try to find ways to, um, on a small budget, because I'm sure if you had plenty of money, you could advertise enough that somebody would call you, with a house for sale. So yeah, just
Well, for me personally, finding the houses is not been a problem, because for me, I sell real estate for a living, and I go after pre-foreclosures and foreclosures, and I go door knock, and they're public record. And so divorces and pre-foreclosures are public record, and they're motivated sellers, right? Because not everyone, some people do let their house go to foreclosure and lose their equity, but a lot of people eventually are going to have to sell their house. So that is, for me, if anyone's wondering about where you can find people, that's always public record. You just go to the county recorder and they have that information, or your title rep can help you get that information. But that's a stumbling block that you've experienced in your past, right?
yes, yeah, I've
Yeah.
been to the courthouse many times, and I can also access it online. And a
Mhm.
lot of times it's just hard to find. You'd have to skip trace those people to find them, and then it's just been a job doing that. And I haven't hit the one like Pace did, where the guy says, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. You should be in real estate." And then it's like that person that you've been trying to find that can help you with your motivation, and get you going in the right direction.
Well, I actually don't. Randall and I are just meeting, but I actually don't believe anyone can help you with your motivation. I believe motivation comes from internally, and that you get
Mm.
to decide and create opportunities for yourself. So
Right.
that's interesting. We just have different perspectives on that, right?
Mm.
But I do believe that that motivation comes from inside. We can't fake it or recreate it, but it is nice to get aligned with somebody who's ahead of the path on us than
Mm.
us, and then can help us. But I do believe that if we take imperfect action, and like I don't skip trace, I go door knock, right? Because the public records has their address, and then I just go knock on their door. And then I ask them for their phone number when I'm there, because then that's free, right?
Mm.
And I would say 90% of the time I talk to the people and get their information. Sometimes they don't give me their information, but I feel like just door knocking is just really easy, or calling people whose house agents whose houses are lagging on the market
Mm.
is also a really good way to find people. But I think motivation comes from connecting with asking yourself, what would I love? And why is that important to me? Connecting with your big why. Why is that important? And then just taking imperfect action, because I think if you're looking for motivation outside of yourself, you're always going to be chasing it, because it's never
Yeah.
going to be there. I feel like confidence also comes from keeping your promises to yourself
Mm.
more often. And the more often we keep our promises to ourselves, and the more often we take action um, on what we do know, and then figuring out from there. Just like when we find these people that are in distress, my goal is to help keep them in their house, right?
Mm.
And help them put a plan together for them. But a lot of people are overwhelmed and distracted, and so they don't know what to do, and it's too much for them. And then just help show them what their options are, because a long time ago, John and I had severe financial problems, and it was very overwhelming, and
Mhm.
we didn't know what to do, and we ended up signing a house back over to the bank, and that was a really bad decision, because we had equity in that home, and we
Mm.
should have sold that home, and we were given really bad advice. And so I just want to help people like see what their options are.
Yeah, I
So
agree. Yes.
yeah, what's the next step for you? What are you going to start doing next? What's the next step for you in your business?
Well, I'm working with a person now that he used to do houses in California, and they were
Mhm.
just he just couldn't handle it anymore. It was just too everything's too expensive. His carpenter lived in a one bedroom apartment, and it was 2,800 a month,
Mhm.
and so he moved to South Carolina. Now he can buy four houses, for the
Mhm.
price he paid for one in California. And he has some houses that he's tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to meet with him, and he wants to sell me one of those houses.
Good.
It's in distress, but it has to be fixed up, and getting the money is another issue. Uh,
Another opportunity. Uh-huh.
another opportunity. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
sure he'll probably help out in some way. He may even buy. Well, he's already bought it. He may fund the renovation, and then when it's sold, take some money.
Yeah, joint venture together.
Joint venture together.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So when I said motivation, I feel like I'm more motivated than most people. But I meant when I said that is
Uh,
I I want to find somebody that's motivated like myself.
oh,
That
that's good.
that
Yeah.
together we can knock heads together and see which direction to go.
So you're
So
looking to match energy with energy. So
that's
I
that's
misunderstood you.
Yeah, I don't need a hand holding. I mean,
Mhm.
it's nice for new stuff because you don't want to make a mistake. So you get with somebody who already knows. But it'd be nice if I could find, most people live and die and they never have five people that they can, call their friends in their whole lifetime that they can depend on. And
Mhm.
if I can just find, a few people like that that's in the same industry and wants to make money and work together, help each other, and serve each other, then I'm sure it'll work out great.
Randall, how will people that are in your area that watch this video and think, oh my gosh, I want to team up with Randall. I want to help, um, joint venture with him or work on projects together. How can they get a hold of you?
Well, I have an email address, phone number. Should I give that out?
Yeah, if you want him to call
Okay.
you. Or if
Yes.
you want him to call you.
Please call me. Well, my phone number is 803. It's easy to remember. 803 is the area code for South Carolina. 331-4449. And my
Can you say it
email,
again? 803 what?
331-4449.
That's a really easy one.
Yeah. And my
Mhm.
email is RBR, because that's my initials.
Mhm.
RBR Family Investments. Uh,
At
.com or at my email at yahoo.com. So RBR Family Investments at yahoo.com.
Yeah, there we go. So if you guys reach out to Randall, he knows what he's doing. He's a professional at this. He's been doing this for a long time for other people. And now he's going to be stepping into doing it for himself. And he wants to joint venture with other people, which is basically John and I want the same kind of thing here in California that we want to do, right? And it's just exciting because I actually really feel like Randall and I are going to help keep each other accountable. We're battle buddies. And I like that Pace says battle buddies is very different than other types of buddies, because a battle buddy is someone that you're going to war with and that you're going to go slay the dragon with. That's not exactly what he says, but it's nice because we're both doing our part and we're stepping and taking uncomfortable action, because both of us, this is new and different for both of us, right? I mean, you've never done this before, right? I've never done this video type thing before like this, right? And we're doing it because our goals are really important to us and our dreams, and we want to accomplish them. And so we're taking uncomfortable action to make it a reality for us, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. So we're starting, and it's pretty exciting. And maybe you have goals and dreams that are in your heart that you wish you would do. And I hope that you don't die with them still in you and your music still in you, as Wayne Dyer used to say, that you'll take the uncomfortable action. You were born to be brave. That's the name of my podcast. You were born to be brave, and it's time to take the next most uncomfortable thing. But the best thing to do is get into community, right? Like we're in the community together. We're in Pace's community together, and team up with people. And if you can, and find out what is the next thing I need to be doing, and you do that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Make a list. Make a list. I'm always making lists.
Are you? Yeah, it's good, right? Because then you
Yeah.
know what you need to be doing, right?
Then you check them off, and then when the day ends, you transfer them to another list because there's more
Yeah.
the next day.
Yeah, it's good, right? So, and we're accountable. We're making sure we're doing all these things. Like we learned you can't live stream to YouTube unless you have 1,000 subscribers. So we're going to get 1,000 subscribers. That's our next little goal here, right? Our big goal is we each got to get excuse me. Oh my gosh, you guys, I had surgery on Wednesday, so I'm a little tired, so I apologize. We each got to get 1,000 subscribers so we can stream straight to YouTube. That's a goal, right?
Exactly.
Someday we're going to look back at this video and be like, oh my gosh, can you believe that's how we started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of both of us. And thanks for putting up with my not understanding your motivation. Communication is so interesting because communication is so easily misunderstood, because one person's meaning that's attached to a word is completely different than another person's meaning that's attached to a word, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's very interesting. That's why I love reflective listening. I gotta do that more often. Anyway, do you have any questions for me before we wrap it up?
No, you've been very cordial. I really appreciate it. Been a
Yeah.
great host.
Yeah. And now we can check this off. We did our homework.
Yeah.
And we're excited. We'll get John Lowe back here to help us shut this down, because John Lowe, we don't know what we'd do without him. My husband, he knows how to do all this technical stuff. And so like and subscribe to our channels. And we appreciate you guys watching and listening. Okay, babe, what do we do? Pause recording, second one down.